right, let's go.
I don't know how to open up this video. Hello and welcome to my tier list. Yes, I am jumping on the YouTube bandwagon so that I can talk about tier lists and make my own to share with the world. Anyway, how you guys doing? I'm Coma. So, we're going to be talking about Sonic the Hedgehog, which is something that I feel like I do on a daily basis. Believe me, you would know. And I thought, for fun, we would go through every mainline Sonic game, or at least the ones that I have played, and rank them from worst to best. Because that's fun. Internet people love their opinions, and they love hot takes. So, let's do it. So, nothing really much else to say other than, let's get started with the very first Sonic game. Where is it? I cannot find it anywhere. I am terrible at reading things. We'll just use the iOS version for brevity's sake. Sonic 1. It's actually a pretty solid game, all things considered. It's pretty much a B tier for me. It started the series. Of course, it's going to have its fair share of problems. I'm not expecting a first game in a series to be anything more than just okay, but Sonic 1 still manages to be a game that I can come back to at least somewhat regularly. It's not the best Sonic game out there, or even the best 2D game I've ever played, but it's still a good time. I very much enjoy it. Now, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, on the other hand, yeah, I feel just about the same, actually. Sonic 2, I know this game is pretty good as well. It's just, I don't know, I feel like I'm more comfortable completing Sonic 1 than I am Sonic 2, because I prefer its special stages, and this is coming from someone who absolutely despises the Sonic 1 special stages, so you must know that the Sonic 2 ones are not great, so there's that. And people can make the argument, oh, the half-pipe special stages aren't really that bad, but they're kind of bad on the Genesis versions. They're really only okay in the Christian Whitehead versions, which have only been released on mobile, which is kind of a bust, unless you played the decompilations, which I'm not going to count that, because that's not an official version of the game. I'm only counting official versions. So, Sonic 2, Christian Whitehead version, that's an official release by Sega, so that's the only good way that I can play the half-pipe special stages and all that. But actually, I'm going to put it above Sonic 1, because as much as I don't really like completing this game, playing through it casually is actually a better experience. It's just, it kind of levels out a little bit more, in my opinion. It's not great, but it's not terrible either. Now then, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Sonic 3 and Knuckles, our first S tier. I love Sonic 3 and Knuckles to death. It's an absolute gem of a game that barely gets talked about because there's a lot of good 2D Sonic games out there, 100%, but Sonic 3 and Knuckles, definitive classic. It's pretty much the best evolution of the level design. It has all three playable characters right from the start, brand new abilities, there's different paths to take, Chaos Emeralds are pretty fun to get in this game. Even though I have proven many different times that I am terrible at Blue Spheres during my Sonic Mania Let's Play, it's a great time. I very much love Sonic 3 Knuckles because it is genuinely my favorite of the Genesis trilogy, and I've always felt that way. So it's a good game. Good game. All right, well, let's go ahead and talk about the Game Gear Sonic 1 and 2, because ironically enough, I actually think that Sonic 1 Game Gear is better than the original Sonic 1. If I could just find it, here it is. We're using the Master System version because it's pretty much the same game. Sonic 1 on Game Gear Master System is... I just think it's a better game in general. Sure, it doesn't have the same graphical fidelity or music quality, but I honestly think that the level design is a lot tighter in this version. Sure, it's not really anything too spectacular, but I still think it's a better game in general, so I don't know what you want from me. But on the exact opposite side of the coin, where is Sonic 2? There is Sonic 2. Get down there in D tier. I hate Sonic 2. Sonic 2 Game Gear is, The game is brutally difficult. Like, even just like going through it casually, like I can get through it fine nowadays, but when I first played this game, like way back in the day when I got it on Wii Virtual Console, the Master System version by the way, so I wasn't playing the worst Game Gear one with the screen crunch, yeah, I wasn't having a lot of fun. All I know is that it was just a Sonic game that was 8-bit. You could be playing any other 8-bit Sonic game aside from this one. Maybe aside from like Sonic Labyrinth and Sonic Blast, which we'll get to those, and probably have a better experience, but that's just my opinions. Sonic 2 Game Gear, it's kind of a mess, but you could probably get some value out of it. Okay, hot takes coming in already. That was fast. Let's mellow out a little bit more. Let's talk about Sonic Chaos next. Sonic Chaos, do I put it in B or do I put it in C? I'll put it in C. Like, it's not particularly a great game in general. It's really short. So, like, this is probably one of the shortest Sonic games ever made, like, and it's probably one of also the easiest. So, I guess it's a good first Sonic game, I guess. But again, there's just better options available. You could be playing Sonic 1, but I guess if that's all you have, then Sonic Chaos is serviceable enough. The music's pretty great, and I like the visual presentation better than the other two Sonic Game Gear games, though I think Triple Trouble might have something to say about that, but we'll get to it. And I think it's just a comfortable game to play. It's just not anything too spectacular, you know what I mean? And speaking of Triple Trouble, yeah, it's Triple Trouble. A tier. Yeah, kind of a big jump coming in from the Game Gear games, but genuinely, Triple Trouble is a pretty sweet time. It's definitely, in my opinion, the best of the 8-bit Sonic games, because there's a lot that goes into it. Like, the level design is pretty good, save for a lot of instances where there's a lot of springs, but it's pretty much just a better Sonic Chaos in virtually every aspect. Aside from the special stages and just a tiny pinch of the level design, it's longer, it's more challenging, and includes way more content. What more could you want? It's a good game, just straight up. So now that we've gotten through, like, the main Sonic platformers, let's go ahead and go into the Genesis. Oh wait, I almost forgot. Sonic CD. How could I forget about Sonic CD? Speaking of C, yeah, C. Sonic CD. Very weird game. Not one of my favorites, to be honest. The music is absolutely incredible, no matter which one that you're going after, but I don't know, man. The level design is not really great. I don't really like playing it all that much. Sure, there is the Christian Whitehead versions, which 100% are the versions that I recommend anybody playing to this day. Playing it on the original Sega CD is kind of a nightmare from what I've heard, so. But it's good. It's a good game. It's just not one of the greats, you know? You would definitely get some value out of this. Like Sonic Chaos, it's not bad. Not by a long shot. It's just there are just better options, you know? Yeah. Anyway, now that we've covered Sonic CD, let's cover some of the Sonic spin-offs. Starting with Sonic 3D Blast. Yeah, it's C tier. 3D Blast probably is my favorite soundtrack of all the Genesis games. Like, straight up. There are so many awesome hits in this, in the music, but honestly speaking, the gameplay is just kind of weird. I'm not particularly a fan of, like, how slippery Sonic controls. It's not really anything that I'm too into. And I like the fact that they tried to do something different, but, like, I don't know, even as a kid, I felt that this one was just a little rough. Not my favorite, but definitely not anywhere near bad. It's just pretty average, all things considered. The good kind of average, but still kind of average. Now, on a completely different note, Knuckles Chaotix. I don't know how to make some people mad with this one, but like, B tier. Knuckles Chaotix, I feel, is very misunderstood by the majority of the community. The gameplay is absolutely wild. I will 100% agree with you, everybody, on that one. The tether mechanic is... it's hit or miss, just to say. Like, there's a lot of things that go into it. Like, there's the momentum-based things, the fact that the spin dash has been absolutely nerfed to... the fact that the spin dash has been absolutely nerfed to Kingdom Come. But, you know, I still think it's fun. Like, if a game is just really... if the game is designed at least decently around everything surrounding its mechanics, then, like, I can still enjoy a game despite the fact that it has its problems. We'll find out another game that suffers from this problem, but actually does not go through the same procedures that this one does. And of course, music is an absolute banger. I will 100% admit that right now. Favorite classic Sonic soundtrack, aside from Sonic Mania. So... alright, so we're moving pretty quick around here. What's next? What's next? Sonic? Yeah, let's talk about Sonic Blast. First E tier. This game is rough, man. It has so many problems. It is a mess. Like, they tried to go for, like, a 3D Blast type of aesthetic, sort of like how Donkey Kong Country does it. Mostly like Donkey Kong Land, which those games, like, I can commend the effort that they did, but the game just looks bad. Even for the time, I think it might have been a little bit of a mess. It runs very poorly, it doesn't feel that good to play. I don't know what happened here, but Sonic Blast, no, stick it in the garbage. It does not. You could be playing far better than this. You could be so much better. Alright, so now that we got our first hot take out of the way, Sonic Labyrinth. I feel about the same way that I do Sonic 2. Not garbage, but not good either. That's pretty much on the lower spectrum of just being average. It's not something that I would recommend anybody playing unless you're absolutely morbidly curious. You could be playing this game, and you could be playing Sonic Blast, which is a bad game. Sonic Labyrinth is still at least has some redeeming qualities. Just don't play any re-releases of the game. You'll probably get a seizure. Like, because of a really bad graphical effect that they had in the game where the screen would constantly flash every time you got a power-up. I would not play that game if you have photosensitive epilepsy at all. In fact, I wouldn't recommend this to playing it for anyone. Actually, why is it in D tier? It's E. It's bad. Just for that fact alone, I changed my mind. Yeah, it is not worth playing. Like, especially if you have bad eyesight and it's just really harmful on your eyes. It'll probably, yeah, it'll give you a seizure. It's rough. So rough. But anyway, what's next? Let's talk about Sonic the Fighters, one that I've actually played recently as of the time of recording this. This game is challenging, but straight up, it's a solid game. Just like, it's pretty good. And it's a pretty good fighting game. Like, you know, it has a lot of the basic mechanics. It has the input commands. It's a Sonic fighting game, like straight up. Like something that you would see out of the arcades, because this originally was a game in the arcades, but it has gotten re-released on the Xbox 360, PS3, PC, and playable on like modern consoles thanks to Xbox One's backwards compatibility, and I think PlayStation now? I'm not too sure about that. I don't know. Future Chroma, mind telling me if that's true or not? Thanks, buddy. Anyway, yeah, and it also was released for the first time on home consoles on Sonic Gems Collection, so that's also pretty cool. It's a fun fighting game that just has a lot of merit. Grab a friend and just have a good time. It's great. So now that we've gotten through something a little bit more positive this time, let's talk about the Sonic Drift games, because when else are we going to be talking about them? I feel pretty mixed. I feel like pretty average on both of these games. Like, they're nothing too special. They're 8-bit racing games, kind of like something like Outrun 3D. Like, they're not bad, but you could be playing a lot better. And there's also a lot a lot of better Sonic racing games out there, so Sonic Drift nowadays, like, it's not the worst thing you can be playing, but you can be playing so much better. Again, not bad, but just pretty average. But we do like the fact that all all of Sonic's friends have cars that are based off of real-world cars, so that's also a pretty fun fact. I actually like that a lot. It's nice attention to detail. Okay, so next up on our list will be... No, not Sonic Adventure yet. Not yet. Let's talk about Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine. You know me, I'm the Puyo Puyo guy. I have to admit that this is good. Both versions are. So, I'd say 8-bit version less so. I'm really more willing to put that in B tier, because... No, actually, no. Yeah, I changed my mind. There are legitimate advantages to both versions. The Genesis version has the better music and the better presentation, and it's just a really solid game. But the 8-bit versions have mission mode, which is essentially just a bunch of pre-made objectives and helping you guide a lot of, it's just a nice big guide. And helping you into Puyo Puyo. So, you know, I'm the Puyo Puyo guy. If you were expecting me to rate these games worldly, sorry to say, but I'm pretty shallow. But yeah, nothing much else to say. They're Puyo Puyo games, and they're with just a Sonic skin. It's pretty good. I like them quite a bit. Okay, so let's talk about now, where the crud is it? Like, I like that this has all the Sonic games here, but I can barely find like half of them. Where is Sonic Spinball? Where is Sonic Spinball? Talk about the Genesis version, not the Game Gear version. There it is! Sonic Spinball on Genesis is C tier, and Sonic Spinball on Game Gear is garbage. Sonic Spinball is a pretty meh game, all things considered. Not really something that I feel is worth playing. I know I've been saying this a lot, but like, not even for the music. The only piece of music that I think is really good in Sonic Spinball Genesis is Toxic Caves, but everything else is just kind of whatever. It's just background noise, and the options music actually hurts to listen to, so there's that. Actually, no, Sonic Spinball D tier. Yeah, I don't really have a lot of good memories of this game. I'm not a big fan of pinball games just in general, so that pretty much tells you what exactly I'm going to rank Sonic Pinball Party when we get to it, so... but yeah. And the Game Gear versions, or the 8-bit versions specifically, they're actually worse, because they're a lot slower and a lot more choppy, and just have worse music in general, so... Yeah, that's something that you can look forward to if you wanted to play this. A slower Sonic Spinball. At least the Genesis version is faster, so you can get through the game much quicker. And it has the minigames, so... Yeah, no merit to playing either of these games, especially the 8-bit versions. Jeez, they're not great. But anyways, I think we covered just about every single Sonic game that I wanted... Actually, no, we almost forgot. Sega Sonic the Hedgehog. I covered this on a SwirlyCast. A really good game. I already spoke my thoughts about the game pretty much in depth that I already could in that video. All I'm gonna say, it's B tier. Solid game. I just wish that its graphics on the emulated versions were a little bit better. Just flashing lights for the main version. It's not great, but it's not bad either. It's still Sega Sonic the Hedgehog. It's a great game. I highly recommend it. Actually, yeah, A tier. Yeah, I'm going back on my word a lot in this video. I do apologize, but that's just kind of how I rank this a lot of stuff, and it's what I do when I'm off script. Okay! Let me just quickly check to make sure. Let's talk about Tails Adventure. I haven't really finished this game, so I don't really feel fair about ranking it higher than C. It's just, for what I played, it's just a decent enough game. It's a Metroidvania, and I'm not usually that big fan of, like, you know, maze-like platformers, but I've slowly started to warm up to games like that for games like Hollow Knight and Super Metroid. You know, these games are good, and Tails Adventure is still a good game. It's just something that I feel like I would want to invest a lot of time into, and something that I don't clearly have, because I'm too busy playing Puyo Puyo games and other Sonic games, so clearly I have my priorities straight. And with that, let me just quickly... Yeah, I think we're just about done with the entire classic Sonic series. Not you. Not yet. Not yet. So, yeah, we are entering into the Dreamcast era now with Sonic Adventure. We're going to be talking about Sonic Adventure DX specifically, so we're not going to worry about the Dreamcast versions just yet. But Sonic Adventure is B tier. I remember playing this like a long time ago when it first came out on Xbox 360 for Xbox Live Arcade. It's not that bad of a version, all things considered, and there are definite versions to playing the re-releases on PC, because the mod support for Sonic Adventure is absolutely wild. Even more so with Sonic Adventure 2. But yeah, like, it just has a lot of great merits that you can definitely come back to. The Sonic and Shell stages are really fast-paced and really fun. The Knuckles treasure hunting stages are pretty decent, exploration-type stages. Amy stages are alright, they're not the best, but they're not the worst either. Gamma stages are pretty fun, and big stages make me want to cry, so, there's that. Okay, big stages aren't that bad, but... Come on, man. Come on. They're not terrible, but they're definitely not something that I can consider good. So, just a solid enough experience. Not the strongest 3D Sonic. We haven't seen that yet, but it's definitely it's a definite contender for being a great Sonic game. I recommend it. Next up, oh boy, there's about to be some flame wars in the comments section. Sonic Shuffle, D-tier, get down there. Okay, so this game was a personal disappointment of mine, to be honest. I expected the world out of this game. I didn't expect the world out of this game. I had to correct myself there. But I at least expected it to be decent from all the praise that I've heard from it from a lot of people. But no, this game has a lot of design problems. It is not designed well. So I'm not going to harp on the game for just being a Mario Party clone. That'd be saying like every single Mario Party... That'd be like saying every party game ever was a ripoff of Monopoly. That's absolutely ridiculous, and I'm not going to judge the game purely on something that it isn't doing. It's made by Hudson Soft. That's a criticism I want to lay to bed right now. Why I don't like this game is that it's absolutely way too complicated. It expects you to know pretty much everything going in and absolutely has no remorse for any newcomers. Even if you play the game on easy, the computer players are absolutely relentless. Yeah, this game is rough to play. Unless you already know what you're doing, which I imagine that most new players probably won't. Yeah, it's a rough one. You definitely need to have someone there who already knows what they're doing to even have a chance of enjoying this game. And even then, finding someone who knows a lot about Sonic Shuffle is probably harder than finding a needle in a haystack. So, next to impossible. I would say this game, it was just better designed, because I want to like it. It's just, when it has this many design problems going for it, and it all comes down to just accessibility, and it's just not great. It's frustrating. I wanted to like this game, but it's just not good. I wish that it was fixed. I wish that there was like a way, fan mods that make this game better or something. But no, it doesn't exist because barely anybody talks about this game, and that's kind of a shame. What a way to go out, eh, Sonic Shuffle? Sorry, mate, but yeah, you're not good. Now, on a completely opposite note, where's Sonic Adventure 2? I'm gonna join the flock on this one. I know that this game was overhyped as all hiffle, but like, I don't care. I love Sonic Adventure 2 to death. One of my favorite 3D Sonic games ever. It's a definite classic for mine. It was definitely a game that helped me through a lot of emotional problems that I had going through middle school. I don't want to get into them here because they're my own personal business, but let me just say, this game was a definite highlight to my day whenever I was just really struggling, and I just wanted to come back and just play it a lot. It's a great game that I still feel like holds up masterfully today. It's overhyped, but that just means that it's good, so who cares? Not much else that I could say. It's Sonic Adventure 2. You've heard the stories. This game was really good. Trying to get a drink. Future Chroma, do not cut this out of the video. or he's gonna do that anyway. Anyways, next up on our list, where is it? Sonic Heroes. Yet another game that is pretty hot topic thing. But I still don't care. This game is amazing. Sonic Heroes. From everything that I have played from the game, this is the Sonic game that I grew up with personally. Everyone has that one game that they grew up with. Sonic Heroes is mine. I played this game a lot, and it's pretty much why I love 3D Sonic to this day. It's not great. It's not one of the best games that you could be playing, but like, honestly speaking, like, at least for the vast majority, it's not one of the best games ever made, anything, but like, in my opinion, it strikes on all cylinders for what makes for the nice transition between classic Sonic and modern Sonic. It introduces the 2-act structure from each of the zones. It has special stages for Chaos Emeralds. It has multiple playable characters. You know, I think it's just a nice transition title, and even if you don't really like the gameplay all that much, you have to at least respect what the game was trying to do, and I could definitely 100% respect it and enjoy the game all the same. And plus, with the body community that this game has right now, this game has a bright future, and I'm very much looking forward to trying out some of the mods that the community has made. Great stuff. Okay, so now that we've covered like the main 3D Sonics of the time, let's go on a bit of a Sonic spin-off tangent a little bit, why don't we? Before we move over to the 4Kids era, so starting off, where is Sonic Advance? Reading words. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. Sonic Pocket Adventure. We'll cover that in a minute. Where is it? Am I just being dumb, or am I just absolutely not finding this game? Oh, there it is. It was right in front of my face. Sonic Advance. Solid. Really good game. Kind of like what I was talking about before with Sonic Heroes. Nice transition between modern Sonic and classic Sonic. It's just a modern Sonic, classic Sonic game. That totally makes sense. But it's like one of the Genesis titles, and it's just a solid solidly built game altogether, and it's just one that I find myself coming back to on a pretty regular basis. It's just nice, easy to pick up and play. It's just portable gaming at its finest. It's a great Sonic game, and it's definitely one that I feel like deserves a lot of attention. Or it does. It's a great game. It just deserves a lot more, because it's, you know, a great game. Not much else to say, but yeah. It's also the playable debut of Amy in 2D, so there's that. Anyway, next up, Sonic Advance 2, which is worse. Actually, I don't even feel good about putting it in B. Yeah, like, straight up. Sonic Advance 2, like, it's still a good game, but, like, I don't know. It was kind of a step down. It's a big step down from the original, but I've grown to appreciate it more with time, but, like, it's still not something that I would consider great. It's not the Sonic game for me. It's a good game, and I can definitely respect it, and I'll definitely come back to it every now and then, but if you're going to compare it to the other 2 games in the series, I'm sorry, but that just ain't possible. I'm sorry. Okay, so now we're going to be talking about Sonic Advance 3. There you are. Get up there. Yeah, Sonic Advance 3. Like, imagine that. My first Sonic game was going to be ranking high. I'm totally not biased. The level design has problems. I will admit that right now. I'm ready to admit that this game has problems, but I still love it. It's my first Sonic game. You can't really fault me for not loving it. It has a pretty unique partner system. Like, I don't usually like computer-controlled things in my games, but, like, as it stands, like, there's a lot of stuff to like about Advance 3. It has probably my favorite soundtrack of the 3 games, though Sonic Advance 2 was a very strong contender in that regard. It has some of my favorite level themes. it's just a solidly built game. I don't really know what else to say other than the fact that, like, it's one from my childhood. I don't really have much else to say, but it's the Sonic game that got me started into got me into video gaming, so I owe a lot to this game. As flawed as it is, I still think I cannot put it under E tier for under good faith. And speaking of games that I can't rank under A for good faith, Sonic Battle. This game also has some problems. Like, its combat in for a couple of stories are pretty repetitive, but like, I don't know, man. I still find myself coming back to this game. It's just a wildly fun beat 'em up, brawlers type thing. It's a great time. I still feel like it. Want to know something that I do want to see happen? If stuff like Dragon Ball FighterZ can get a competitive community, why can't games like Sonic Battle and Sonic the Fighters, man? They deserve it. They're definitely worth learning a bunch of tech, high level play. I want to see that. I want to see competitive players play these games. They are definitely worth it. But I guess we kind of had to waste our time talking about other fighting games instead of just the more obscure ones. So, yay. But even still, Sonic Battle, great time. I love it to bits. Another game from my childhood. Of course, I'm going to be biased, but I can't help it, man. I still love it, even knowing that it has its problems, and I'm perfectly willing to admit them right now. They do exist, but they don't ruin my game. Speaking of problems that don't really exist and ruin my game, let's talk about now Sonic Pinball Party. Not as bad as Sonic Spinball, but definitely not anywhere near as high quality as all the other Sonic games. Straight up, yeah. At least with Sonic Spinball, you had controllable moments for Sonic. This is just straight up a pinball game. I don't really know what else to say. It's as a bunch of Sega themes for Knights, Samba de Amigo, and I think Burning Rangers. That's fun, I guess. I never really liked this game all that much. I don't know what else to say, but she's a bit of a thing. But now, oh. Ugh. Have a drink. Okay. So now, we're gonna be talking about Shadow the Hedgehog. Where am I gonna rank this one? This is gonna be a bit of a thing. C. Shadow the Hedgehog. It's a wildly different game from what a usual Sonic game is. It plays like Sonic. It has Sonic in it, but it's not really that big of a Sonic game. It's a spin-off, but it's treated as the canonical sequel to Sonic Adventure 2. I can respect a darker story, but it goes a little too far, and it's just far enough to be a little uncomfortable at times. I definitely this is the game to usher in, and honestly speaking, I almost went back on myself just for a second there. I don't this is the game to introduce the 4 kids voice actors. I know that Sonic was supposed to be very energetic, but I feel like this game should have been done with at least that this game should have been conceived with the Dreamcast voice actors in mind. Even though, unfortunately, Dean Bristow passed away after Sonic Advance 3, I'm fully convinced that this game probably would have been made during Advance 3 with Dimps working on it, but as it stands right now, I feel like this was a more so a story with the Adventure Cast, and then the 4 kids guys came in, and then it just, it made the presentation feel a little wonky, just in my opinion. Not good, but not terrible, just weird. And the gameplay itself, it's fine. It's not that it kind of plays like Sonic Heroes, only it doesn't have the fun character swapping mechanic. It has guns, it has weapons, it has a morality system, which is alright, I guess. It makes the game very replayable, but you have to play through the game 10 times, and 10 of those runs include And all of those runs include Run at Westopolis, the first level. No. Just no. And yeah, like, I don't hate this game. In fact, I think it's a little bit misunderstood, but to say that it's among the rankings of like Sonic 1 and 2 and like all these other games are here, no. You couldn't force me to think like that unless, you know, you're gonna tell me to think like this. Shadow the Hedgehog, it's on the lower echelons. Oh boy. I just realized what's coming up next. Before we get to that though, yeah. Sonic Genesis. It's Sonic 1 on the Game Boy Advance, but it's terrible. Fun fact, it's actually the first time this game was actually the way that I got introduced to Sonic 1. In Classic Sonic. I was a stupid kid. Anyway, now that we got that out of the way, Sonic 06. Oh boy. Some of y'all about to get mad at me for this one, but I don't think this game is hot garbage. There are some redeemable aspects, but it's not good. It's not the worst Sonic game, but it's definitely among the lower echelons of the D tier, very much bordering on E tier. It's a bad game, but at the very least, Sonic stages, when they're not absolutely being hounded by mock speed sections, those are fun. The Shadow stages are very slow, and the Silver stages, like, they exist, I guess. The story is kind of whatever, but the music and the presentation are actually very strong. It's just, I don't really like the character models too much. They feel very flat, and the environments feel very flat. It's like a more realistic version of Sonic, which I'm not. You know me, if a game doesn't really has its own style, I don't really like realistic looking games. I'm looking at you, Square Enix, but you know. I don't know. Sonic pulls it off well, I guess, but even still, the environments do feel a little jarring at times, especially when the characters are mixed in among other humans, especially during the in-game cutscenes. It's a little bit of a jarring mess. But it's not the worst thing that I've ever played from the series. God, no. It's just kind of... It's a bad game, but it's just not as bad as people say, at least in my opinion. I could definitely see why someone would hate this game, though. 100%. It's not good. I would not recommend it, but there's worse. There is worse. So moving swiftly right along to the next mainline Sonic game, Secret Rings. Where are Secret Rings? There are Secret Rings. I feel about just the same way as Shadow the Hedgehog. It has a mission structure, it's fine. The music is absolutely incredible though, and I think it has the best presentation out of a lot of the modern Sonic games, at least for this era. I love the old crispy book-like textures in the menus and all that. It looks good for a Wii game. And I actually think it handles the more realistic looking environments better than Sonic 06 does. Granted, of course, they had more time to stew, so there was that. And actually, a fun fact about Secret Rings in general, it was originally supposed to be a Wii version of 06. I'm glad that we got this game instead, because it's actually better. But even still, it's not something that I would consider worthy of replaying, unless you're willing to go through, have Dolphin, and include it with a controller mod. I haven't tried it myself, but from what I've heard, it actually makes the game playable, so... But I'm not going to judge a fan mod by its quality. So this is just purely from the original releases or any kind of re-releases that are available, that are readily available today. Secret Rings, I'm talking about the Wii version specifically, not any kind of modded version. As it stands, I think it's C tier. Next up, oh boy, it's time for one of my favorite Sonic games. Where is the 360 version? No, seriously, what the crud is it? There it is! Sonic Unleashed! Get up there, buddy! Sonic Unleashed! Fantastic game! It has its problems. I've been saying that a lot this video, haven't I? But, like, the warehouse stages are good. For the most part, they are. They just drag on a little bit long, but that's pretty much one of my only problems that I have with this game. Other than that, I love it to bits. It has great... The speed and the thrill is absolutely incredible. The presentation and the whole music and the whole like worldly vibe that brings in like the whole bunch of cultures and all this other stuff. Given that this game is called Sonic World Adventure in Japan, I think it makes sense. This game is absolutely amazing. I love it to death. I would love to replay it again someday. I still love it to this day. I love Sonic Unleashed. It's a great time. Highly recommend it. And even if you're not interested in playing the game, at least listen to the soundtrack. Top tier. Top tier, top tier, top tier. Alright, Sonic and the Black Knight. Better than Secret Rings. I'll give it that. Although I don't think the presentation is nearly as strong as Secret Rings. I still think that the story is a lot better, though. It actually does have a nice message at the end, and I'm not going to spoil, because it is definitely something that's geared towards more adults, and rather than just being for kids, so that's definitely something I like. And I think both this and Unleashed are the best performances that the 4Kids voice actors have done, especially Jason Griffith as Sonic. Just knocked it out of the park for these games. Though it does have an unnecessary waggle controls, which I'm not really that big of a fan of. That's why I'm not really too interested in playing Skyward Sword. So there's that. But as it stands, like Black Knight, still a decent enough game. Just not something that I'm willing to shell out the big bucks to play again. You know. All right. Okay, so now that we covered pretty much all the games in the 4Kids era, let's go ahead and cover the spin-offs of this era, because there are a lot of them. So, starting off, let's talk about Sonic Riders. Okay. It has the exact same problem as Sonic Shuffle. I'm willing to admit that right now. But I love this game, man. Like, even disregarding the fact that this game is really, really complicated, like, for the most part, it's very simple to grasp. It's just, there's just a lot of advanced mechanics. It's not like Sonic Shuffle where it's supposed to be simple, but it's not, and it's just, you know, it's a little too complicated for my liking. It's a party game that just has way too many intricacies thrown into it, and it just has unnecessary fluff. Sonic Riders, on the other hand, even if you don't really understand how the game works, you can still at least get through the story mode fine. It's going to be a bit more of a challenge if you don't honestly know, but I think it does a better job just tutorializing things in general than Sonic Shuffle does, because it actually shows you how things work, instead of just Sonic Shuffle just kind of explaining everything, rather than, you know, the show don't tell, you know? And that, and honestly speaking, these have my favorite cutscenes of any 3D Sonic game. The presentation in this game, like, I know I've been talking about a lot about presentation, but like, if it's really good, then I have to admire it. And I just love how goofy the cutscenes are. They're like a Saturday morning cartoon, and I love how expressive they are. Granted, of course, they're a little too saturated. The models are a little too saturated for my liking, but the game is bright and colorful anyway, so it works out for the models in particular. And it's definitely a knock against Zero Gravity. We'll get to it in just a moment. But yeah, Riders 1, definitely classic. And if you're not going to be playing just the vanilla game alone, it's really great. But a lot of what the fans have been doing for like Sonic Riders Tournament Edition, for Extreme Gear Labs, like those guys have been knocking it out of the park. And I really like what they've been doing. I love seeing their progress, and they even host tournaments with their own modded versions of the game. So that's pretty cool. Highly recommend checking them out. It's great stuff. Now on the completely opposite side of the coin, where's Zero Gravity? There it is. It's not nearly as good. Straight up, like, the original releases of Zero Gravity is, like, what a step down, man. Like the game feels super washed out compared to Riders 1, where it's super saturated and colorful and fun, and it's kinetic and great. But Riders Zero Gravity is way too simplified and super washed down with all of its colors and all that. Like, it's not something that I think is bad per se, but it's a huge step down. Not something that I feel like is worth celebrating all that much. And the story is nowhere near as strong. The gameplay isn't as strong either. Like, It's still a decent enough experience. I think you could be playing far worse than this, but you could definitely be playing the original Riders instead of this. Unless you're thinking about playing Regratified, again by Extreme Gear Labs. Those guys are absolutely incredible. But, again, this is just judging based on vanilla experiences alone, and I just don't think that Riders Zero Gravity is all that great. Still has strong music, though. Though I think that kind of goes without saying. Okay, next up, oh yeah, I forgot about Sonic Pocket Adventure. Where does this go? B tier. 8-bit Sonic game, pretty obscure one, but it's definitely something that is very, very nice to play. It's kind of like a remix version of Sonic 1 and 2, and it's just a solid platformer all around. Not really something that is, like, too worth going back to, but if you have a Neo Geo Pocket Color emulator, sorry, try saying that 5 times fast, it's definitely worth playing. It's actually the first ever Sonic game that has been built by DIMS, so hey, they had to prove their worth somehow. Even though this is one of the most obscure Sonic games ever made, I got to play it. It's still a solid experience. Just, I don't think it's anywhere near as good as Sonic Advance 1 and 2. Sorry, 3. Yeah. Okay, now that we've actually done that, time for now, we talk about Sega Superstars Tennis. Yeah, we're actually gonna be talking about this. Both versions of the game are pretty, all versions of the game that I've played. They're pretty alright. It's a tennis game, so not really much else I can say. It's kind of like Mario Tennis Power Tour in a way, because like you have like power shots that you can charge up by like a meter, although it's like a big star, and when it glows and has this big effect, your character will do a certain animation, and then when they hit the ball, they will have certain effects added to it. So yeah, it's a tennis game, all right. Yeah, it's Sonic in it, so it's a pretty predominant thing. It's one of the only times that Puyo Pop Fever was ever like shown outside of Japan until Puyo Tetris and Puyo Quest and Sonic Runners. So that has to mean something, I guess. Sonic All-Stars Racing. Sega All-Stars Racing. Yeah, great game. The Xbox 360, the Wii version, and the DS version are all solid experiences. I like these games for what they try to do, and each of them do have their own bonuses. You get to play with Banjo and Kazooie from the Xbox version, and they have their nuts and bolts design, which is fine. The Wii version has Mii's, and the PS3 version has nothing, so yeah, there's that. But, you know, it's a solid racing game all around. It's like a generic Mario Kart game, but again, like, I'm not really gonna judge it, like, based on that alone. You could be playing Mario Kart, but you decide to play All-Stars Racing, and it does have its own unique mechanics, and it's still a fun experience to come back to even today. It's a great game. Just not something... It's not gonna be as good as Transform. Just putting it out there right now, but we'll get to that in a little bit when we get to the modern area. So... Okay, so next up on our list, I think, should be Mario and Sonic. The original Olympic Games are, yes is C, and Wii is B. Solid enough minigame collections. The DS version, the DS version has, way too much touch controls for my liking. You'll probably scratch up your screen if you just like go ham on the things too much, so that's fun. And the Wii version has motion controls, so yay. But like, the Wii version is still like a good enough game. It's a minigame collection and has Mario and Sonic in it. If you really like these characters interacting, like, it's good stuff, but I think Winter Games does it a lot better. And speaking of, yeah, Winter Games, get up there. Where's the Wii version? There it is. I'm probably one of the only humans alive that'll rank this game S tier, but I do not care. Olympic Winter Games Wii is straight up one of my favorite minigame collections. It has a lot of really good controls. The minigames are really, really fun. The fan service in the Wii version is absolutely out of control. A lot of the dream events are based off of Mario and Sonic games, so like that is just really, really cool. And like, I like that there's like a big customization aspect. The music in the game is absolutely incredible. Like, what more do I need to say? It's just a really good game, just straight up. And the DS version has the advantage of having an actual adventure mode where characters do interact with each other as well. So, hey, that's pretty cool. Just not something that I'm willing to go back to a whole lot. But the DS version, still a good game though. Okay. So now that we covered, like, the main spin-offs now, here we go! Sonic Rush! Going into A tier! Sonic Rush! This game style is... Ugh. Straight up, Sonic Rush! Like, I could talk about this game for hours. This game is absolutely incredible. It has some level design problems, I will admit. Deadline is one of my least favorite Sonic zones ever, but like, disregarding that fact, Rush still has like a lot of really good aspects about it. The music by Hideki Naganuma is just mwah, chef kiss. The presentation's really strong. The story is actually fairly innovative for the time. And it introduced Blaze the Cat, one of my favorite Sonic characters. And you can actually play as her through the entire game after beating the first zone. So, hey, can't call that terrible. And the zones themselves are very beautifully drawn in like a pixel art aesthetic, and it meshes well with all the 3D models. And the game just straight up really holds up, even disregarding like the lower poly models. So yeah, I think that the game has a lot of merit to be played in 2022. Great game, love it. But you want to know something that I love even more? Da 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 da. Where is the game? There is the game. Okay, seriously, where the crud is it? There it is! Sonic Rush Adventure! F tier. Basically, taking everything that I said about Sonic Rush, upping it up to 11. I love this game more than anyone probably should. I talked about my thoughts on the SwirlyCasts already, but I must reiterate, it's my straight up my favorite Sonic game. I cannot disregard that fact at all. I love it a lot. Probably more than any sane human being should, but that's just how I genuinely feel. I've said my piece. Moving on. Okay. So, next up... Oh boy. I just realized what we were talking about next. Sonic Chronicles. This game makes me sad. This game truly and honestly makes me sad, and the fact that we will probably never get a sequel thanks to Contenders is, yeah, it's a bit upsetting. Because a Sonic RPG has a lot of potential, but like, man, they rushed this game out the door, and it really shows. I wanted this game. I remember liking this game as a kid, but nah, this game does not hold up as well. My mature, more wiser tastes are telling me, like, no, Sonic Chronicles, like, it's not the worst Sonic game, but man, this is one of the bigger disappointments of the entire list, alongside Chaotix Shuffle. It's just like, ugh. Because it has potential. It still has potential. It's just the fact that we're probably never ever gonna get a sequel. It's just, ugh. I hate it. I hate knowing that we're probably not gonna get another Sonic RPG ever again because of how badly this one did. But, you know, I guess that's just kind of how it goes. I would love to see this concept, like, revisited another time. Like, you know, get Atlas on the thing. You know, get the SMT and Persona devs on this thing. They could probably make a really good Sonic RPG, but, you know, I guess we'll just have to wait and see if they ever do something about that. Probably not, but, you know, it's whatever. Anyways, next up on our list, I believe... Are we cleared out of the 4Kids era now? I think that we are cleared out of the 4Kids era now. Okay, so now we're moving into actual modern Sonic territory. So 100% the rest of these games are going to be fairly divisive. So there are going to be games that I have not touched yet, so like stuff like Mario and Sonic at Sochi 2014, or say Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric. If I'm not talking about them, I'm sure that I have not played them at all, so I do not have any impressions on them, so I'm not going to give myself impressions on them, so say your piece as you will. Anyway, Sonic 4 Episode 1. Way too overhated, but not, honestly, something that I feel like is worth coming back to at all. The special stages in Sonic 4 are straight up the worst versions of the Sonic 1 special stages, so I hate them. It's like, I don't know, man. Sonic 4 Episode 1, like, for all of its pros, it's not really something that's worth coming back to, and I actually did fully replay this game very recently, and I don't know, man, like, I still had a decent enough time, but I feel like Episode 2 was just straight up a better game. But, you know, Episode 1, like, it's fine. Like, if you buy the game, buy that game and buy Episode 2, you get Episode medals, so that's cool, I guess. But I'm not counting that as, like, an overall package. I'm just counting it as, like, a lock-on bonus, so it's kind of cool that they did that, but, like, I don't know. Not something that I feel like is too great. Episode 2 is better. It actually looks better, and it plays a lot better, but even still, like, it's not something that I feel is too worth it. It's not the worst, and I think it gets a little too much hate, especially Episode 2, but to consider it, like, as good as, like, you know, like, the games in A and S tier, like, no, not in my opinion. I don't think they are. And it's still on, like, the lower echelons of B tier, like, bordering on C for Episode 2, but still a good game. Just not something I feel a lot of people will get into unless they are actually really curious about it. In which case, I feel like they would have at least a decent enough time. Okay. Guess what's coming up next? Sonic Colors. Let's talk about the original game. Not Ultimate. I've not played Ultimate, so... And it's not actually on this tier list at all, so... The original Sonic Colors is bordering on between these two, at least for my opinion. On the Wii version, it's a bit of a weird thing. I'm gonna put it in C, but like, if you catch me on a different day, I'd probably put it in B, matching on C. That's kind of where I am right now. I'm kind of flip-flop between these two, you know, yeah. Sonic Colors Wii, probably was one of the weakest. It's the start of like a lot of what people hate about modern Sonic games. The writing was way too kidified, and it brought on like the really bad writing team. It was not at all like the Japanese version, so yeah, it's a bit of a thing. Not a fan of the game's script at all. The jokes fall flat. The level design is mostly 2D, which it should work, but it doesn't really work for Sonic because a lot of them are just like gimmick-based stages, so I don't know. I don't feel too great about it, but when this game hits. So, I don't know. I feel pretty split down the middle for Colors Wii. Like, on the one hand, like, it has a lot of good aspects. Like, I like the fact that they decide not to try and cram a 360 or PS3 game onto the Wii and make it its own original thing. But at the same time, like, I would kind of almost rather have a game like Sonic Unleashed on Wii, which it actually did happen, but actually, like, the PS3 and Xbox 360 versions on the Wii, even though they probably would want them actually worse than they do unless you're playing the Xbox Series X. So, But even still, like, yeah, I'm fully confident that I can say that Colors, for all of its problems, is fine, I guess. Music is absolutely incredible, though. 100% I will admit that. And Colors DS, still had the same writing problem, but, like, honestly speaking, it's a better game. So, if I can just find it, I can put it up in the, there you are. You can hang out in the B tier. You can hang out with Sonic 4. Yeah, it's just not as good, because, like, not as good as Sonic Rush and Rush Adventure, obviously. Because, like, it's the weakest link in this trilogy, because it doesn't have any of the trick system, and it doesn't have a playable blaze. It has the wisps, which is fine, but, like, if you're gonna play Sonic Rush, just play Sonic Rush, and then play Sonic Rush Adventure. If you want to play Sonic Colors on DS, you could do worse. Actually, you couldn't do worse, because you couldn't do better either, so this is straight up your only option. What am I saying then? But, like, yeah, out of the two versions of Colors, DS is my favorite. It doesn't have as strong a soundtrack, but like, it's still a decent enough experience, and I'm glad that it's rarely available. Just not. And I'm glad that, like, it's still a game that I can easily come back to without having to worry about, like, gimmick stuff. It's just, when you compare it to these two games, it's like, no contest. Oh boy, that got spicy. Well, we're about to turn up the heat even more, because next up is Sonic Generations. Now, I like this game. I like it quite a bit. But I feel like coming back to it, like, it's definitely the objectively best boost game, but like, I don't think it's as good as Sonic Unleashed, like, honestly speaking. I love Generations. It's the first game I got on 360, and it's a game that I really wanted to play, and it's a good time. It's just, I don't know. I feel like this game, in hindsight, doesn't really have a lot of its own luster. It's got good level design, but the fact that it constantly relies on, like, every single past Sonic game, like, as cool as it is, it's just, I would like to see something new. And that's why I think Unleashed just barely beats it out. But it's still, like, catch me on day for day. Again, it's like Sonic Colors on Wii. Oh, same conundrum. Anyway, next up, let's talk about Sonic Lost World. Wii U and PC version, C tier. The game is alright. I definitely trashed this game a lot during my LP of it a little ways back, but at the end of the day, like, it's still not great, but it's something, I guess, for the Wii U. It's not bad, it's not good, that's good music, it actually has good, presentation for the most part. It's just, I don't know, I just don't really have a lot to say about Lost World Wii U. The 3DS version, on the other hand, no, that game is awful. Get in the garbage. The game is just overall looks worse than its counterpart. And I almost forgot that I didn't talk about Generation 3DS. I'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, I think it's just worse. It's a 3D Sonic game on the 3DS, so like that's pretty cool. But like, even still, like that fact doesn't save it at all. On the contrary, features of the 3DS actually make this game worse. There's a Quake Wisp in the game that requires gyro controls, and the special stages are actually... I don't think you should play the special stages if you have motion sickness, because you have to constantly turn around and stuff. Why couldn't we just have it be like, a regular Sonic special stage? But no, it's just legitimately a bad game. I don't really know why that they decided that it would be a good idea. Dimps, what happened? I don't know, man. Like, the design decisions in Lost World 3DS, like, it's bad. I don't recommend it whatsoever. Probably one of my least favorite Sonic games just ever, in my opinion. It's rough. Very rough. Anyway, on a much more positive note, where's Generations 3DS? There it is. Yeah, pretty on par with the console version. I think having this version focus more on the handheld side of things is a much better bonus. But again, it suffers the same problem as the Generations HD. It relies too much on old content, but the fact that the 3DS version relies more on handhelds, it gets more of a bump in my opinion, but it's still very much on the same plane. Still a great game, still recommend it, it's just not my personal favorite. Okay, now let's talk about Sonic All-Stars Racing Transformed. This game holds up better than I remember it being. This game is great. Great racing game, has a lot of great controls. Still kind of an active community that is going on for the PC version, and I think it's online is still active as well. So like, yeah, there is merit to play this game, and there's actually like a lot of people who do play this game. It's a great game. Like it has great driving controls, the new mechanics for the boat and the plane, kind of like Diddy Kong Racing. I wonder where they got that inspiration from for having Banjo-Kazooie there. But like, yeah, transforming in the middle of the race has things be a lot more kinetic, and in my opinion, having every piece of music be remixed and like have different sections have their own specific track, like it's good. I love it. All-Stars Racing Transformed. Play this game. It's so good. Especially the PC version. Okay, so we're going to be skipping out on Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric, but we're going to be talking about Shattered Crystal, which... like, I'm not against the idea of Sonic Boom in general, but like, its first two games, they were rough. They were rough. Shattered Crystal is kind of like a Metroidvania, which I've already said is not really my thing. It's got a Metroidvania Sonic game does have a lot of potential, like for a big exploration type title, but I feel like it would be better in 3D than it is in 2D. And the fact that it wasn't done by the same guys who did the like the 2D Sonic stuff on 3DS and DS, it's not done by Dimps. I feel like they would be a much better job pick for this, but it's whatever. It's not great, but it's not it's not terrible, but it's not good either. And I feel pretty comfortable with placing Shattered Crystal in D tier, but I definitely see why people would rank this as E, as well as Rise of Lyric. It's not great. Both of them are not great. Okay. So, London 2012 is the next game that I'm going to be talking about. I only played the 3DS version, and it was a bit of a step down, man. Like, I like the soundtrack of London 2012 a little bit more than the original game, but like, the fact that the character roster is locked to only 4 characters when all the characters are available on the DS version is a little ridiculous in my opinion. The story version is pretty nothing compared to Olympic Winter Games on DS. It's just a step down, but it's still a decent enough game. It's just, I don't know, man. It feels like a massive downgrade. Apparently not for the Wii version though. From the original Olympics to London 2012 on Wii, I think it's a massive glow up, at least from what I've seen. It's just not so much for the handheld versions, you know? Okay, next up, we're going to be talking about the final mainline modern Sonic game that we have not spoken about before, Sonic Forces. It's not as bad as people give it credit for, but like, it's not good either. I feel again, same conundrum with like Generations and Colors. I feel pretty mixed. C, D. Catch me on different days, I'd probably say D. This game just doesn't really do much of anything. Like, I kind of feel like nothing playing this game. Like, it's still fine. The character creator is at least very in-depth, but like, I don't know, man. You could be doing so much better, but you decided to play Sonic Forces, so I don't really know what to say. I like the ending song, and I like Fist Bump, and I like Infinite as a villain, but like, again, it's just like, Forces. It's hard to pun, but it feels very forced. Okay, let's take that pun and just move on to, let's move on to the Monotonic Spin-Offs now. Oh wait, I almost forgot! Actually, no, I didn't forget. Sonic Mania! Get up there! Get up there right now, Sonic Mania. S tier. S tier. Like, what do you need me to say about Sonic Mania? It's a fantastic game. The game looks absolutely beautiful. The music by T-Lopes is just absolutely sublime. This game was a loving creation by fans. I'm happy that this game was even allowed to exist. It's incredible. I've already sung my praises about Sonic Mania many times, but you already know this game is great. So, there you go. Quick little mention to Sonic Mania. Good stuff, good stuff. Anyway, now we can talk about the modern Sonic spin-offs that I've played. A lot of these are on mobile, so get ready to see a lot of, like, weird stuff coming in. So, let's start off with Sonic Dash. Like, and Sonic Dash 2, just because why not? I'm gonna rate them at the same time. They're pretty alright. They're not really something that I feel like is worth a big gaming experience, though honestly speaking, they're not supposed to be, because they're, like, endless running mobile games, so, like, it's alright, but, like, not really something that I feel like you should drop, at the drop of a hat, I'd be willing to play, you know? And I feel pretty the same way about Sonic Forces Speed Battle, or whatever it's called now. Just, it's a good game. They're fine, they get the job done. If you want something diet, something light, it's just not something that's really worth, going out of there. And now let's talk about an actual good Sonic mobile game, Sonic Runners. I remember playing this game when it was still active, and it was a great time. Played Roto's Revival, which is the fan-made servers project. It's still pretty good. It's pretty much preserves the original game in like a nice big wrapped up bow. But yeah, I just wish that the gacha aspect wasn't a part of it. Like, you know me, when I talk about free-to-play games, like when I talked about Genshin that one time, I don't like talking about gacha-related stuff. I think it's a very predatory thing, and it's very easy to get sucked in. Believe me, I have been there. Yokai Watch Wibble Wobble, anybody? Yeah, and also Genshin at some point. Yeah, it was a pretty dark period of my life, but, But yeah, Runners 1, the original Runners, I should say, it has a lot of original content. It has completely original music, and it sounds amazing. It just, again, it's a mobile game, so, like, it doesn't really work anymore unless you have to play a fan server. At 1 is up, and it actually is about to be having an update around the time of this video's release, or at least around this video's recording, and it's still very much worth playing. If you're able to make it work, which is pretty simple to do, because I was able to make it work rather simply by just going to the website, and it's pretty solid. I recommend giving it a go through the fan servers. Now, on a completely opposite note, Sonic Riders Adventure. It's a game-off game. This game is trash. I thought it was going to be Sonic Runners, and it's definitely more Sonic Runners, but it's not Sonic Runners. It doesn't have a good... The game just absolutely looks awful, and it's bad to play. It's more like Stage to Stage, which is fine, but like Sonic Runners' whole appeal is that it was an endless runner. This makes me feel nothing. It's bad. I don't recommend playing it at all. I paid $2 for this game. I don't even think it's worth it for free. Just mega yikes. Do not play this game. It's bad. Anyway, next up, Team Sonic Racing. I want to talk about this game. You see, Team Sonic Racing, in my opinion, like, it has its pros. It has a completely remixed soundtrack, and it all sounds amazing. But, man, when I first played the game, like, its online it's rough. It is not good at all. But, like, and there's basically nobody playing this game anymore, so, like, unless you have friends who are willing to play multiplayer with you, which I doubt would be anybody if they're willing to play Sonic All-Stars Racing Transformed instead. I'm gonna say C tier. Yeah, like, for all of its good pros, and the fact that it actually has a script that doesn't feel like it was written by monkeys, yeah, it's, I don't know, man. I feel like you could be playing All-Stars Racing Transformed. It's right there. Your friends could be getting together to play literally anything else. With Team Sonic Racing, like, for all of its pros, and it does have some legitimate good pros, like having a lot of the Sonic characters back and playable again after so long is a nice thing. And the team mechanics are really fun. It's just the fact that you have to really rely on this game's online to play it right now for most local multiplayer. It's let's just say, fans of the term, not ideal. So yeah, I don't know, man. It is a weird game. It's not something that I'm willing to go back to. It's just it's whatever, in my opinion. Anyway. Are we on the last game of the day? I think we are. So now, let's end this off with Sonic Freeriders. One of the biggest disappointments on the entire list. This game actually hurts me to play. Enough said. Anyway, here we go. So let's go ahead and go through the entire ranking from bottom to top, and we'll go ahead and, like, close out the video from there. So in E tier, we have Sonic Blast, Sonic Labyrinth, Sonic Spinball Game Gear and Master System, Sonic Genesis, Sonic Lost World 3DS, Sonic Brothers Adventure, and Sonic Freeriders. For D tier, we have Sonic 2 8-Bit, Sonic Spinball Genesis, Sonic Shuffle, Sonic Spinball Party, Sonic Pinball Party, excuse me, Sonic 06, Sonic Chronicles of Dark Brotherhood, Sonic Sonic Boom Shatter Crystal. In C tier, we have Sonic Chaos, Sonic CD, 3D Blast, Drift, Drift 2, Tails Adventure, Advance 2, Shadow the Hedgehog, Secret Rings, Rider Zero Gravity, Sega Superstars Tennis, Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games, Sonic 4, Colors, Lost World Wii U, London 2012 3DS, Sonic Forces, Dash 1 and 2, and Team Sonic Racing. For B tier, we have Sonic 1 and 2, Knuckles Chaotix, Sonic Adventure, Black Knight, Pocket Adventure, Olympic Games Wii, Winter Games DS, Sonic 4 Episode 2, Colors DS, and Runners. In A tier, we have Sonic 1 8-bit, Triple Trouble, Sonic the Fighters, Robotics Beam Machine, both versions, Sega Sonic, Advance 1, Advance 3, Battle, All-Stars Racing, Rush, Generations, both versions. And for S tier, we have Sonic 3 Knuckles, Adventure 2, Heroes, Unleashed HD, Riders, Olympic Winter Games Wii, Rush Adventure, All-Stars Racing Transformed, and Mania Plus. Wow, that was the big thing. My voice is absolutely giving out now. But that is my tier list for Sonic the Hedgehog for every single game that I have played. This video was a lot of a thing to make, but it was really fun to make, and I really enjoyed putting together this tier list live, and it's been super fun. I kind of made this video out on a whim, and I did not expect me to go this long, but hey, if you really enjoyed it, then maybe I'll make more tier lists in the future, for maybe Mario or Kirby or something like that. But with that, this has been Koma, and my friends, fellow viewers, camaraderies alike. Thank you for tuning into this video. I hope you all have enjoyed. Bye-bye! God, I need a drink after all this is over.